Today is the 13th of October, 2011, Thursday. I came across something that I thought would be very illuminating with regard to meditation. As I was looking for some quotes for my channel, I fell upon an interesting verse in Proverbs where Solomon speaks of an experience he has. He then reflects on the experience and then derives wisdom or instruction or understanding from that experience, a life lesson. And so I wanted to share that, and I also found another one in the Tao, and you can find them all over the place, but these are two examples that I'm going to leave you with. Now, one of the things that I'd like to begin with is, of course, what is meditation? One could say it is the natural ebb and flow between manifestation and the inward eternal self, the seat of all wisdom. We experience, we return within to be nourished. So the yang is that which we experience, it's the manifestation, and the yin is the emptiness into which we, to which we return. And so there you have the balance of the yin and the yang. The yang being the outward, and the yin then returning inwardly. And what happens is that a lot of times people will experience the yang, they'll have the experience of their life, but they don't turn inwardly. Many people borrow their wisdom. They try to get it through reading, they try to get it through going to seminars, they try to get it through different avenues like that. And it's not to say that those things are bad in and of themselves, but you really must absolutely look within. There has to be that balance of yang and then yin. Always that balance of both. The experience of your life and then turning inward to reflect on it, to observe it carefully, and to derive a lesson from that. And so that's what this is about today. We experience, and then we return within to be nourished. Now, we start in with the experience. I'm taking this from Proverbs 24, verses 30 to 34. The experience that Solomon speaks of is, I passed by the field of the sluggard, and by the vineyard of the man lacking sense. And behold, it was completely overgrown with thistles, its surface was covered with nettles, and its stone wall was broken down. So this was the result of the sluggard, of not doing anything, of allowing things just simply to not be addressed, for things to go uncared for. And so the second part of it is reflection. When I experienced with my eyes, the senses are the way that we experience our world. So the sense of sight is what he's referring to here. When I saw, I reflected upon it. I looked, and I received instruction. And then the third part of what he has to say is the instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then your poverty will come as a robber, and your want like an armed man. So, as you can see, the very process of meditation is so beautifully laid out in these verses in Proverbs. I just had to share it with you and put it into the playlist that I have for meditation, because I think it may be helpful to those of you who want to deepen your spiritual life, who want to become more aware of yourselves through meditation, and therefore having to understand what exactly is involved in that. And I think this really breaks it down very nicely. You have your experience, which is the yang. You then turn inwardly and you think about it, and that's the yin. And then you receive instruction, and that just comes just by dint of pondering, by dint of reflecting, by dint of cogitating over what it is that you've experienced. So that's an example from Proverbs. Then I went ahead and I took an example from the Tao. I took Tao Te Ching 57 as an example. In order to show you the same type of thing, the poem needs to be changed around a little. So we start with the experience. What kind of experience is the sage speaking about in the Tao, in poem 57? He says, the more laws and restrictions there are, the poorer people become. The sharper men's weapons, the more trouble in the land. The more ingenious and clever men are, the more strange things happen. The more rules and regulations, the more thieves and robbers. And so this is what he's seeing, that when there is doing, when there is interference, when there is when there is not the practice of wu, then there are all kinds of things that come up that to the surface in society that cause trouble, like poverty, trouble, strange things, robbery. Those are the things that he speaks of. So as he's reflecting, his reflection is, I take no action, and people are reformed. I enjoy peace, and people become honest. I do nothing, and people become rich. I have no desires, and people return to the good and simple life. He doesn't need to do a thing, and everything works out well, all by itself. We don't need to do anything at all. Life is the doer. We are not the doer. We are merely the observer. And this is what the sage is seeing here. He's seeing all I am is the observer. I'm not participating in any doing, in any interfering at all. And things just simply work out beautifully in and of themselves. And so the instruction that he has in that poem is, rule a nation with justice. Use what is strange to resolve matters. Succeed in the world without doing. So that we have justice, what is strange, and without doing, all meaning the same thing. They're all referring to non-doing. They're all referring to wu. Justice is represented by the balance, and you have the balance of the yang and the yin. And so you have rule a nation with justice, with this balance of yang and yin. Use what is strange to resolve matters. And what is strange is to use wu. It is to be a practitioner of non-doing. That is the strange thing, because this is something that is not seen often. So use what is strange to resolve matters. Succeed in the world without doing. Without doing, using wu. So they're all referring to the same thing. And what he sees is that, and he gives it then as advice, because that is what he has seen as instruction from his observation and reflection. So I wanted just to leave you with that for you to think about. Thank you for listening.